Doomsday 3.
We had Doomsday 1. He came from one of the toughest areas. I think it's ultimate century, of course. For safety and
on the defense, talking about it. You better get your ass to the ball. You better get to the ball.
I just gotta say, when it comes to Dallas,
Different.
For sure, and they would have thrown it off because
This guy gets on you.
And then I go to bed every night like, gee, man, I promise you that. What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here, back in the cave, feeling pretty good. Had a great weekend, which got some stories to tell. We got some stories to tell, Jimmy. Some of them you don't know, only Cuts and myself, maybe Mark. I don't even know Mark knows some of them. But anyway, before we get rolling, guys, make sure, as always, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. If you're hanging out, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up. Of course, always sharing it with Cowboys Nation never hurts. Always spreading the word and the good love, but definitely appreciate it. And Jimmy, how's your weekend? You're in New York. You got a New York state of mind right now. It looks like with the Yankees.
Yeah, no, it was good. I definitely want to hear about your weekend because it looked like a lot of fun. It was Dominic's 18th birthday on Saturday.
Nice.
So we had a little bit of fun. And earlier in the day, so Camel Piper, he's Irish heritage, and they do these parades and shit during the St. Patrick's Day parade. So that was in the morning. So you can imagine Saturday was a long day of
St. Patty's Day already, where they start early up there.
No, well, they call it part of it because there's like a lot of Irish people up here, but they call it Holy Month for them, So it's the whole damn month. It's fun.
Damn, that's a lot of drinking.
It's a lot of drinking. So, but it was a good time.
No, that's awesome. Well, we're going to get into some free agencies coming up next week. We're going to get into the combine is wrapping up, pretty much wrapped up, and kind of looking at the draft board, who's hot, who's not. I think the combine's a little bit overrated, but that's just myself. But we'll get into that kind of stuff. But wanted to share the weekend. So I did a video yesterday, kind of recap some stuff, but I didn't tell all the stories because, you just can't do it. But I would encourage you, anyone who knows Eugene Lockhart, obviously great honor for him getting into the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. But, they have a 2-minute speech. That's what you're at. LaDainian Tomlinson was there. Larry Brown, Super Bowl MVP for the Cowboys, was there. Larry Johnson, which we're going to get into a funny story with that. He was there. So, there was some big dogs. I got to pick Mean Joe Green, scary, still intimidates me, was there. Drew Pearson. So there was a lot of great people. So we talked about it. I shared some of the pictures on social media and also on the recording I did. But the thing is, Eugene Lockhart, he didn't do a 2-minute.
2 minutes.
It wasn't even 2 minute. He did an 8-minute, but it wasn't even that. He had Drew Pearson present him. No one else had anyone present him. But, this is what we're dealing with. Eugene Hit Machine. That's right. Be first class, top of the night. But he had Drew Pearson came on and presented him. So it was like a 12 to 15 minute. It was like the regular Hall of Fame. I was like, "Wow, I feel like I'm there." And it was so much fun. It was humbling for me to be a part of it because there was some great, when I'm telling you, Jimmy, just amazing stories of the other people that were inducted. Kyler Murray's uncle was a baseball player. He got inducted. He was drafted in the first round twice. I talked about that. His baseball career, the thing that he's remembered most for, unfortunately, maybe for him or fortunately, however you look at it, being remembered is always great. He got drafted in the first round twice, which I said, but he was the batter when Randy Johnson disintegrated the bird. He was the batter. He was in the batter's box.
Disintegrated. That's pretty cool, though, man. It's cool because, like you said, these guys. First of all, they deserve it, and some of them are long overdue. But it's kind of cool hearing like the stories, and you guys got to mingle with them because you're a couple of big shots. It was invite only, so it was very exclusive. And what I'm saying by that, so
me going in there, and Cuts was my +1. Thank God he was there, because I am a very antisocial person in these types of settings. I get very shy, get very, kind of sit in the corner. So thankfully he was there. But the beginning was a little intimidating, because a lot of these guys, teammates, friends, close family. So, here's Cuts and I, and you're just kind of, Eugene showed up fashionably late, so that didn't help things. Right. So, Cuts and I are in there, and we're like looking around, and we're trying to, mingle, but just not, be so forward or get in anyone's way. So it was a little awkward in the beginning. So we got food first and sat down. Across from us, just at the other table, was Larry Johnson, who, you know him right off the bat. And I'm like, all right, well, we got to start figuring out how to break the ice a little bit. Man, I got to break the ice. So, so Larry Johnson's there. So his friend, you can hear him stories. I think the cool thing was hearing the stories. It was like you and I talking, man. We, let's say you were famous or I was famous. We're talking about the same juvenile stuff that we were doing, and Larry Johnson obviously is a, great basketball player, won the national title, first overall pick, but he was just like one of the guys. They were just like regular people. They weren't, sticking themselves on a pedestal. So I tried to break the ice, and I said, man, Mr. Johnson, I'm grew up watching you, huge fan. I mean, Grandmama, what was better than that? I didn't realize Grandmama, he's not really that into no more, man. That, that was really? That kind of made him famous, but it didn't go over well. He was cool with it, but he, it's like, hey man, I did a lot more than Grandmama. I was like, no, I did. It's just as a kid. That was the commercial, but he was nice. He was very nice. And so we talked a little bit with him, and then we went back in, and then there was a table, kind of like a high top table. So we were kind of Cuts and I were just sitting there drinking a beer, and Larry Brown was like behind us, and the other person that was at another table kind of broke the ice with him, and was, he's an TCU alum, and they were alums. They kind of were talking. And then Larry Brown was probably one of the nicest people I think I've ever talked with. I mean, just so positive, so engaging. And he just turned and included us in the conversation for no reason. It was him and Chris Arnold, who was the MC. He's he does radio for 105.3.
This was in Dallas, correct?
This was in Dallas, downtown Dallas. So this was, so we're, it was right next to the Cotton Bowl, matter of fact. Right. And so we were sitting there and we're talking, and then we got on the Cowboys. So I have all the Super Bowl tickets, right, from 27, my era, 27, 28, and 30. So I had Super Bowl 30, he won the MVP. I had it in my pocket inside my coat, and I was waiting for the opportunity, because this wasn't a place to get autographs, but I was like, man, if the opportunity comes along, I want to be ready, because I want to get it signed. Yeah. So we're talking about the Cowboys, and, we got on to the team today and this and that, and and the thing I learned is the players are as frustrated as the fans are. He was saying the same frustrations that we talk about on the show for the past 6 months. He's talking about. And so I was like, all right, here's my shot, man. I'm going to shoot my shot. So he's talking, and I just reach in my shirt and say, look, Larry, I just think I got to ask is, when are we going to get another one of these? When are we going to get another one of these? And so he started laughing. He goes, man, that's a throwback. He goes, I don't know, man. It's not looking good. So I said, well, could you do me a solid, man? Because I don't know if I'll get this opportunity again. Could you sign my ticket stub for me? So he did. Yeah. He was awesome, but Super Bowl MVP. Talked a little bit more. He said he'd come on the show.
That was my next question.
Show. So I was doing a little working too. Cuts knows I'm working 24/7. I'm always thinking of the cave and how we can improve things. So he said he'd come on the show, and he does a lot of radio for the Cowboys now. So he's in tune to this team. So we could talk about the past, but also kind of get his thoughts on the Cowboys. But the thing I learned was the frustration that these guys, that we have as fans, a lot of these legends and the players of the past, they feel the same frustration with ownership. We talked a little bit about Stephen Jones and Jerry and like some of that. It was pretty interesting.
It's funny when you mention, I know that's nothing to do with football or the Texas Hall of Fame, but who was it? Sugar Ray, Mark McGrath, that guy. Remember the band from the night? So there's a video of him online, and he was at some, I don't know, autograph signing or whatever. And somebody said, "Hey, Sugar Ray, how you doing?" F you, man. He went off on the
Are
fan.
you serious?
Right? Yes, because the person probably really didn't know his name. So he went off. It's on YouTube. It's hysterical.
Oh, I gotta
off. Shut
he
the F
wasn't
up.
joking.
No, he was serious.
Oh, I gotta look that. I love that stuff. I gotta look that up. But so Larry Johnson, and I wish I had the picture. I should have put up the picture. But so cuts made. He's gonna, he goes, man, I got something for Jimmy, and he had a New York Knicks cut. So this was not the place to like get autographs. Like I said, Larry Brown was just kind of opportunistic. So as the night went on, he left it in the car, and a lot of people were leaving and stuff. So we went outside, and Larry Johnson was just sitting there with his high school basketball coach and a friend of his, and he was just kind of like talking. And I had a picture of Larry Johnson, Charlotte Hornet, him, Muggsy Bogues, and Zoe. And I'm like, well, I'll get all three of them signed at some point. I love that team. And so we're sitting there, and I'm like, I told Cuz, it's like, maybe I ought to go get the cut. I said, yeah, just go get it. And I said, we'll kind of hang out here. So now we're going to do the waiting game like he's getting his car. And so, yeah, we're like fanboys. So we're just sitting there, but him and I are talking. And like I said, anyone who was there is there for a reason. Like, you had to know somebody, right? It wasn't like they just sold tickets and people are outside with their bags, duffel bags of helmets waiting to get autographs. Like, there was none of that, right? So
it wasn't like when your brother's there waiting in line with 800.
And I'll tell you, he gave me a stack of pictures to get signed, and I broke his heart. I said, Danny, I'll bring him. And at the end, I said, man, this just wasn't the time or the place. So, but anyway, so we get out there, and then he goes to get the cut. And the beauty with cuts is, because he does these custom cuts and he gives them, that's the icebreaker. So that's what I need, right? I'm a closer. I'm not the star. I'm a closer. That's right. In sales, I'm a closer. So I get cuts over there and cut. I said, all right, when he walks, you're gonna lead it, and I'll work my way and I'll get my shit done. So Larry Johnson's walking. I say, hey, Mr. Johnson, and Cuts goes over to him. He's like, hey man, I make these cuts, and he pulls it out, and he just loved it. I didn't know he was on he worked with the organization for the Knicks too. So he loved the cut, and that was the icebreaker. So then Cuts is like, hey, would you mind if you sign one? And I got one for you. And he's like, oh man, no problem. So he signs a Knicks. I'm like, all right, here's my shot. He goes, I said, I'm no Knick fan. I'm a Hornet fan. I liked you with the Hornets. Can you sign this picture? So then I got my picture signed. So we were able to get, signed. But the funny thing is, what I'm going to say to you, Jimmy, is thank your boy Mike for pushing Cuts a little bit, because Cuts was like, we're going to wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow we're just going to do it tomorrow, because I don't think today's the day. So, I'm thinking, Rocky, there is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
You got to shoot your shot now. Well, when the induction ceremony was the next day, he got either food poisoning or something, but he was in his room sick and he could not participate. So we would have never saw him. We would have never saw him, and we would have never got it signed.
See, they got a sign on the line that is dotted. No, I'm psyched. Cuts. So he says, hey, he texts me, hey, homie, up. I'm like, shit, I was in bed, my wife's sleeping, and I couldn't really at that point,
And I can attest this. If Jimmy, if his wife is home and they're in bed sleeping, you interrupt, Jimmy will get his ass whooped, because I saw
that's right.
Jimmy will get a shoe to the head.
So you see Cuts there. See, Mike attest to that. Okay. So anyways, he sent me the pic. Like, damn, this is, I was so hype about it. So definitely appreciate it. Look, and Frankie, Cuts got something for Frankie as well.
Eugene Lockhart. We got a cut for, UNLV was one of my favorite teams growing up. I mean, that was Stacey Ogba. I mean, that was a badass team, man. And Larry Johnson, injuries really, hurt him. I mean, he would have been a Hall of Fame basketball player if it weren't for injuries, getting the best of him.
Man, Mike, you pulled that story out of the bag of tricks, man. The sleeping story.
Oh, I remember that one. I was
That's old school.
Before it woke you up, and boy, when she got back to get you, boy, ass whooping took place.
Oh yeah. So, Cuts, hey, SoCal, do me a favor, shut up. All right.
We don't need that. So, a couple other quick stories, and we'll get into this. So the induction ceremony was Sunday morning. So one of the funny things is Cuts and I, hey, I got rooms for free. I use my points. I told Cuts, I said, I got 2 queen beds, so we can share the room, save money, all that kind of stuff. So we were roommates for 2 days. So the next day, I'm like, well, I'm going to go down and get some coffee. But the night before, I was telling him, said, man, I love this. You might remember, Jimmy, Jam and Toast. I love this place. It was Jam and Toast for breakfast. I told the story on the show. I said, so, man, I want to, maybe we'll go get breakfast there. But then I was like, it's getting, maybe we won't do it because we got to drive down to Dallas, downtown Dallas and stuff. So I go down to get coffee and I do a little walkthrough. You walk through the breakfast, see what they got, and it's all shit. And so I text Cuts. I said, hey, you want some Jam and Toast on me? Well, what would you think, Jimmy? What do you think by that?
For free. That's all. Well, we know you're all about value. I mean, come on.
I'm taking him to breakfast, all right? Jam, I talked about it. Well, he must have forgot because he thought, do I want to bring him back some Jam and Toast back up to the room on me as a joke? So he goes, no, I'm good. And I'm reading. I'm like, son of a bitch, man. I got no car. I want to go get breakfast. He don't want no breakfast. He's going to sit there and sleep the morning away. I got to get shit going. So I go back up there and I said, hey, man, if you don't want to go, just can I use your car? I didn't take your car. I need to get breakfast. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, I asked you for Jam and Toast. And you said no. He goes, oh, man, I thought you meant you were bringing me up Jam and Toast. I didn't say no, man.
See, you know you're all about value, man. Come on.
I know. So
look at SoCal's hype that you're using more swear words.
Did I? I didn't mean to.
I didn't even notice that, SoCal. Maybe because I feel like we're talking off the air.
Yeah, this is more just BSing with you, Jimmy. So I forget that there's an audience. And so then we have the breakfast, have a great breakfast, and then we go down to the ceremony, and it was, again, first class. Got to see LaDainian Tomlinson. That's
a nice pick.
He has a presence. The way he stands, just very stoic, and what he gives when he talks, it's just like. Same thing with like that Hall of Fame speech. Just what a class. Just all class. And they had Russell Maryland there, Mean Joe Green, Drew Pearson, all this stuff. So, again, you're in the ceremony, you had assigned seating. So we're with Eugene Lockhart's family and friends. So we sat with them. And Eugene was so appreciative of us going, flying out there. It really, and he looks great. I know he's had some surgeries and stuff. He looks fantastic. He feels better. If you watch the video of him, you'll see. It was like, the salad. The salad like was a romaine, the heart of romaine cut in half with all the stuff on it. It was high class. It was upscale. We didn't know. We were like fish out of water. But the best was at the end. So now Cuts and I, it's over. We're gonna try and get some pictures, man. You had Drew Pearson, you had this,
Polaroids.
So Drew Pearson was the first one. So I saw Drew Pearson getting ready to leave. I could see him beeline it. So I'm like, Cuts got a picture. I said, Cuts, I'll be right back. I'm going to beeline. So I beelined, and the nice lady next to me, she does charity work with Eugene and stuff. She must have saw me beeline and saw him. So she left. And then she kind of, I don't know. C blocked me is the only word I can do. I don't know why I was going to say I'm cussing. But so she got in front, got ahead of me, and she started talking to him. So now I feel like a moron because I'm standing there next to her. So then I'm trying to engage in the conversation. She's talking about her charity, trying to get them to, be participant. So I'm like, oh, yeah, it's great charity, great work.
Yeah.
Do a lot of, so I'm trying to. And then she finally gets done. So I'm like, hey, Mr. Pearson, man, big Cowboys fan, love you. Is there any? I don't know if I'll get the opportunity again. So can I get a picture? Can I get a picture with you? And he goes, I'm done taking pictures.
Damn.
I went, man, I'm sorry. I apologize. I started to walk away. He goes, man, I'm just messing with you, man. Get over here. So then he took a picture. We talked for a few minutes, talked about Tony Hill. I said, man, that Tony Hill, I've talked to him. He's been on our show. Such a great guy. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He's like, no doubt about it. Look at his numbers. He deserves it in that era. And he was really cool. Russell Maryland, we got him to throw the U up. He was awesome. The one story I'll say, and I don't know if Cuts knows the whole story.
Well, real quickly, what you should have said was, while you're calm, can we get that Polaroid now?
I know I should have. I know. I needed you there because then we could have recorded it.
Hey, wait, one more. I just got to tell one more thing before you get to that. So about there's one easy way to remember. So if you're like this, bread, drink, your bread plate and your drink, left and right. That's how you remember.
I'm a lefty though. Isn't that opposite or no?
No, it's the same. It doesn't.
Yeah, I like my drink on the left side.
Well, you're not allowed to have it on the left side if you're going to
drink with my left hand. I hold my drink in my left hand.
You're the 5-star. You're going to have it on the right.
Well, I'm putting it on the left. That's the
All
way
right.
I do it. So maybe I got no class.
Short shrivel to the left.
But the last thing I'll say on the evening was Mean Joe Green. Now, I'll tell you guys this. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Mean Joe Green is still one of the most intimidating people that I said his name and my stomach is turning. One of the nicest guys, but just his presence is just, it's there. So Cuts and I we're walking and he's walking by and I'm like, dude, we got to get a picture of Mean Joe Green. I mean, come on. So I go, Mr. Green, I said, I'm a huge fan. Any chance I can get a quick picture with you? And he goes, you got someone to take the picture? And I said, I'll hold my phone. I said, we'll just take a quick picture. He goes, I don't take pictures like that. You need to find someone to take the picture. And I said, well, Cuts is here. I said, Cuts, could you mind taking the picture? So then Cuts goes and he takes the picture. And then Cuts is like, hey, can I get a picture with you? I said, oh, I'll take the picture for you. So now where he's standing, the doors keep opening because everyone's leaving. And when the doors keep opening, the sun is beaming.
Okay.
In.
Silhouette.
So looking to try and take the picture, it keeps fucking up and the lighting is messed up. And I'm taking the picture and I'm trying to stall for the door to close. But in the back of my mind there is no way in hell I'm telling this guy to turn to the right.
No.
There's just no way. I just keep clicking. And then I'm like, all right, good. I'm good, man. Thanks. And then leaves it. And Cuts goes, I had Cuts the camera. I said, man, I might have messed you up on this one, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said, there was no way I was going to tell him to move.
Hey, Cuts.
No way I was telling him to move.
Did you ever see Animal House, Cuts? You see what Mike You effed up. You trusted him. Make the best of it.
Oh, but it was, it was just a great, honestly, we may never get that opportunity again, but it was just
it's once in a lifetime, man.
It was a cool time. So,
yeah.
But, what I'd say on the Cowboys, getting back to the Cowboys real quick, and then we can get into some free agency stuff. I said the players felt the same. So, Chris Arnold was there. And we were talking about like last season, how frustrating. It's like Stephen Jones. And they kept, even Larry, they both said Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones. And like, what are they doing? And you had Derrick Henry and Chris was like, hey, where Derrick Henry, he moved to Dallas. I was like, yeah, one more.
Yeah.
He got the same agent as Dak Prescott. Do you know what his golf course is? His home golf course. If you go in the off season and you were there all summer, he goes to the same golf course and he was there every day. It's the Dallas Cowboys golf course. What more? It was basically handed on a silver platter. It's like, dude, sign me. Here it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, Stephen Jones, his attitude is, we don't go to them. They come to us. It's almost like, what was that? Zod. When they the general does not give orders or take orders.
He gives them.
And then it's like Gary Jones's philosophy is deadlines make deals. And it's just, it's so frustrating, but it was really, I don't want to say it made me feel better because it doesn't, but it made me feel better that these players that played for the Cowboys, talking Super Bowl champions, MVP, all that stuff. And you hear it from Michael Irvin, you see here a lot of these players, they're as frustrated as the fans are. They're saying the same stuff we are. So hopefully, something happens and someone wakes up. But.
Well, let me ask you. So Deebo Samuel goes to Washington.
Yes.
For a 5th round pick. Are you sitting there saying, damn, did you guys give up a 4th round last week?
And this is, I've tweeted this, and I want your opinion, Jimmy. You're unbiased. You have no, down the middle. You got no skin in the game. Deebo Samuel. Let's talk about it. Good player, right? Good. You think he's had 1,000 yards. He had one really dominant season. He's had the rest are 600 yards receiving.
He's hurt.
800 yards. He's $22 million that you're going to have to eat. You're going to have to pay him $22 million next year. So there's a reason why it was a 5th round, because you're eating that contract. Would I take Debo? Sure, but I would rather have a younger guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't upset about the trade. And then you talk about Mingo. I wasn't great about the Mingo. I wasn't crazy about the Mingo trade. I think that was stupid, and I think it was a big mistake. And come to learn, that was one of the things McCarthy had a real problem with, and that was kind of caused some internal battles because of that trade. But I mean, he doesn't count for nothing. He's making like no money. I mean, was he making $800,000, $1 million, whatever it is? He's not making $22 million. So I think that's where it's easy for the media to jump on that, but you always have to put it in perspective of what are they inheriting as well.
But okay, so even the Mingo trade, you're like, whatever. It's pocket change, right? Is that your thought? Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But I'm not great. Like, I want Dallas to draft a receiver, and if they don't draft a receiver in the first 2 rounds, I'm gonna go crazy. And now it could easily happen, because now I'm hearing, there's some defensive guys that are getting talked about, and depending on how the draft falls and this and that. But we have got to get a playmaker opposite CD Lamb. And you saw T. Higgins. I mean, T. Higgins, they threw the franchise on $26 million. That's what I'm saying. You can't go out and sign a receiver. You sign CD for 35. You can't go get another receiver for 25, 22, 28, whatever million. You got to draft somebody.
Well, I'll tell you, word on the street, the rumor I saw is Ayuk might be gone from San Francisco. Ayuk to the Bears.
They're trying to trade him, which makes me worry, because San Francisco picks before us. Are they going to take a receiver now? Because
they're going to have to.
They get rid of Ayuk. I mean, what are they going to do?
They would have to. You know what I mean? So if they dump all that, I mean, just losing Debo again, that's why his numbers are skewed, because he's been hurt a lot.
He's hurt, but like Ultra, I see he's like Fred Sanford. He's beat up, man. He's creeping on 30, but his body, because the way they used him, I mean, he's taking a beating. So do you want to? I mean, would you rather have? Let me ask you, Jimmy, in the chat. All things equal, like right now, this year, would you rather the Cowboys go out and trade for Cooper Kupp, or would you rather them trade for Debo? And if you're going to have to pick one, I'm not saying neither, because I still would say draft one. But would you rather have Kupp, or would you rather have Debo right now today?
Cooper Kupp or
I would take Kupp all day. I would take it.
Yeah, when he's healthy, is more of a force. When he's healthy,
I'm saying, you got to pick one.
He's more of a threat when he's healthy.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I agree.
I put DK's names out there. I think Kupp's salary might be lower. I think it is. Someone help me with that. I didn't look at his salary. I wouldn't want either one of them. I'm just going to say. Now, if they get Kupp,
I'll take their salary.
Fine, but I just got to get a decent stipend. But I think when you have a high-priced receiver like CD is, you got to draft someone that it helps. You can't have all your money, and I'm not going to defend the Joneses in any way, but the whole pie. But I mean, it is a pie, right? I mean, there's only so much money to go around. So you got to find value. And I think you can get playmakers in the draft. You get playmakers in the draft, and that's what you start filling this team with. Give me a running back. Give me a receiver. Give me a cornerback. Give me an edge rusher. Those are your premium positions. Left tackle, if you want to. Yeah, those are your premium positions that you need to address in the draft and try and strike gold on a rookie deal. Quarterback, that kind of stuff. And that's what you got to do. And you're going to get the defensive tackles. You're going to get your linebackers. You can get value or interior guards. You can get value in free agency with them. Getting guys that are 26, 27, got the NFL experience in the prime of their career, you can get more value.
Well, I tell you, speaking of, is this true that Trayvon Diggs? I saw Mikey Schefter broke a story that Diggs might be out.
That's Slick Rick is his source. Did you see the source of?
I didn't see the source.
The source of the tweet was Slick Rick.
Oh, okay.
Like the thing I would say, I don't know if that's Ric Flair. It had a K, so I knew it wasn't the OG Slick Rick. It might have been another Slick Rick.
Some imposter.
Yes, but I mean, Diggs has been hurt the last 2 years. So if they were to move on from Diggs, I can't, it's business, right? At the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately? Business. That's the way that, sports is. That's why I'll never begrudge, someone got upset because I said I wouldn't be taking a hometown discount. I don't think players should have to take a hometown discount because the owners can just cut them. So,
That's right.
does the production warrant the salary given? Now, that's a question that they can answer. I'm not going to answer because it ain't my team. But he's been hurt the last couple of years. You're going to have to pay Bland. Now, if you watch Mikey Schefter's draft, a lot of receivers and Genti were gone. So he went with Barron from Texas, cornerback. And I don't have an issue if Dallas wants to get a cornerback. It just depends on how the draft falls. But if you go out and get a top cornerback, well, that just makes Diggs more expendable, I guess. You go younger and there's a cap savings and all that kind of stuff. So it's a business.
Well, it is. It's a bit, but Ultra's saying it's a $4 million hit, so it's not.
They said after June 1st it would be $9 million.
That's a lot. I know they increased the cap by like $20 million.
Yeah.
Some crap.
Oh, he's saying it's a hit. Or no, he said it only saves.
They only save for him.
June 1st it was $9. I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody.
Yeah,
but that's what I saw when I read it this morning, or maybe I listened to the radio. But
and then Steven says Cup will go to Buffalo. They got Amari Cooper. He's a free agent up there, so who knows?
I think Cup would be good in Buffalo. I think that would be a good spot for him.
Again, if he stays healthy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. Whenever you're getting these guys, it's a young man's game, man. And some of these receivers, it takes a toll on your body, your ligaments and everything. They're cutting and doing all that stuff all day long. There is a drop off. That's why I think, like running back, I'm going young at receiver. I want a young guy. I want to try and get a top draft pick, and then running back is so deep that you can get someone in the second, third, fourth. I wouldn't go past the third because they don't have a fourth, so they're going to have to get a running back early.
That's where I'm happy. Thal, we got Drake London, we got Mooney, but remember Rondale Moore, another guy we got from Arizona. He got hurt in the preseason. He's coming back. Hopefully, he comes back healthy. They're all young, so I'm hyped. We got them for a while.
What pick do the Falcons have? You guys got to be up there.
What pick do we have?
You got to be in the top.
I got to look.
Yeah, I can look real quick.
14 or something.
No, were you better than us last year? I guess you were a little bit.
A little bit. No.
Yeah.
We were disappointing.
Yeah. You were. Where the hell are you? Oh, you're 15. You're 15.
Okay. That's close. No, you see, we're 15. Not top 10. When we're that bad.
A, B, C, you're in the top 10.
Right. So it's just, like I said, I'm not going to pretend. I don't know much about college football. We've kind of talked about it. You got me thinking about it a little bit, but I don't know the best players coming out. So, as far as I'm.
It's what is your position in need? Like, what if there's a position that you want? What are you,
Well, it's time. We need defensive line. We need defensive linemen, man. Judon was a good pickup, but he didn't do as well as I thought on the edge. And Grady Jarrett's getting older. We need some beef up front and defense. That's what I'm looking at first. Well, and we might need a center if Dahlman leaves on free agency. I don't see him leaving, but if he does, we're going to need a center.
Well, I could tell you. So they had the combine. So you had a lot of guys that look good, look bad. So they did their post combine mock draft on PFF, and they got you taking an edge rusher, Mike Green from Marshall, who I'll be honest with you, I don't know who the hell he is. Right. I don't watch Marshall football. That's but it looks like defense, right? So that's the way to go, defense. It's got Dallas taking Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama, which I get it. You get a big guy. They probably use him, like Parsons kind of thing like that. But I just, this offense has nothing that scares you outside CeeDee Lamb. Nothing. So,
well, and that's where I'm not. We have, obviously it's a different era with Penix. I never thought I'd be sitting here a year later and it went from Cousins to Penix like that. But we have weapons, just getting the ball to the weapons. That's the problem. Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I like Penix. We saw a few weeks of him. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, that's he's from this area, so we always look for always hope. I always root for the local guys, man. Always root for the local guys. But looking at the combine, and one of the guys that shot up the ranks. I don't know if you guys in the chat. I mean, is everyone kind of on the Hampton train? I mean, they think he's going to go in the first round. Mel Kiper had him going to Dallas at 12, which I think is a little steep. Maybe the Cowboys are trading down, but would you take Hampton over Genty? Forget like the value. I mean, do you think Hampton will have a better NFL career than Genty will? I saw Hampton play more than Genty. I mean, Genty looks like he's the real deal, but Hampton, I mean, he's a big dude, and he could be physical. I mean, I like his style of running probably better. Plus, he's you're always a thorn in the side to McCain, so I always gotta hope those guys. But yeah,
he would take McMillan at 12. Michael Clark would.
I would too. He's the receiver. I would go receiver. If McMillan falls to Dallas with his size, I'm taking him all day long, and I'm going to hope that Hampton falls in the second. But they said you could see possibly 3 running backs end up, and running backs are becoming more premium. I mean, Bijan, he went 7 to Atlanta.
7.
Gibbs went 10 or 11 or 12 or whatever it was when everyone thought he was going to be a second round pick. So running back is just becoming a premium. The only thing I would say is running back in this draft is probably the best, the depth wise, the best running back group I've seen in a number of years. I mean, you could get into the 5th round. And I'm just telling you, and I'm not saying it to be a homer, but Damian Martinez, he's 6 foot 230. He is, someone compared him to Marion Barber. He is a physical guy.
Old school.
Yeah, he's shifty too, and he breaks away big runs. I mean, I know he doesn't have the maybe the 40 time the kid from VT had Virginia Tech, but I think Martinez. I mean, you can get him in the 5th round. So there's something to be said where do you wait on a running back? Because is there that big of a separation between first round and, second round to the 5th round? How much separational gap, do you have there? But there's a lot of running backs.
Well, and what it is too, you need a 2-headed, we've talked about it for years now. You need 2 running back. You need a 2-headed monster running back in this league. You know what I'm saying? So we lose Algier at the end of next season. He's going to be gone. He's up for contract, and I don't know if we're going to have the dough to pay him, even though I'd love to keep him. Plus, he lost his starting spot to Bijan. So, we're going to need to fill out route. That's next season, though. That ain't this season.
Yeah. And I mean, and there's, here's a kid that you guys keep your eye on. If you're thinking, all right, my running back's going to be gone, you got the kid from Virginia Tech, King Rootin' Tootin'. But it's either Tutton or Tootin', either one. Maybe I think it's Tutton. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. He ran the fastest, if my memory's right, for the running backs, 4.32. So he's a burner. So that's a guy, and he's rated like in the 5th, 6th round. So does he go up maybe because it's 40 time? I don't know. I don't know if he goes up much, but there are running backs to be had. And if any team is thinking about, I mean, San Francisco's looking at a running back. I mean, any team, unless you got 2 solid running backs that you're good with for the next 3 or 4 years, man, running backs, you could see a big run on running backs because it's deep and there's a lot of talent there. Where I don't think there's as much of a receiver. Now, you guys tell me if I'm crazy, but I think receiver, as far as premium, I'm talking about, think about what Dallas wants. How many receivers do you guys really think are at that level that can step right in and be an impact player for the Dallas Cowboys this year? I don't want to hear I don't want no project. I want, how many do you really think could be? I think it's maybe 4 or 5.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's so tough. I think running back is a much easier position to acclimate going from college to NFL, in my opinion.
No, it is. It is, but I'd say the offenses and you don't watch college as much. The
No.
offenses in college have evolved so much that you see these receivers are NFL ready. I mean, think about Jefferson. Think about, Neighbors with the Giants. I mean, Drake London, you have all these guys
fair.
are coming out ready. Remember, I don't want to sound like a homer back in our day. Remember, it was like a 2 or 3 year project before you really saw your receivers. Like Michael Irvin was okay his rookie year, but it was his third year was his big breakout year. You know what I mean? It took those guys sometimes time because the offenses were a lot of run first, wishbone option. You didn't have a lot of pro style offenses.
Gimmick.
That was the attractive thing with Miami always is they ran a pro style offense.
Well, but I mean, too, you got to have if you had a garbage team drafting and they draft a receiver and there's nobody else on the team, they're going nowhere fast. I mean, that's the tough part. You got to have a quarterback to first. In my opinion, you got to have a quarterback in this league first until you start building around them.
Yeah. And I don't want I'll correct myself, Steven. I don't want I want impact guys. I want guys that I need, of course, if they start, they're start, but I need guys that are impact guys. I need to know. And I know a lot of people. Who's the fast kid from Texas? Everyone's high on. And, maybe who was that? Bond? Was Bond the one who ran real fast? Golden was the one who said he was going to run real fast and then never did. Or do I have him reversed? Which is the one that was it? But, Jimmy, I mean, 40 times got GMs and scouts fired.
That's right.
And, Bond was the one who ran it. I mean, he's going to be a first rounder, but that dude better produce. Otherwise, I've seen a lot of 40 guys end up on. We had Alexander Wright, for those of your old school Cowboy fans, from Auburn. He was one of the fastest players in the combine. And it didn't work out in the NFL as well as I'm sure
but I mean, does it get back to also, do you draft, I know we've talked about in the past, maybe draft the best athlete with the best football IQ. You know what I mean? It's this catch-22. If somebody who has, great skill and football IQ
skills. It was all right. It was Golden that ran fast. Bond was the one running his mouth. He said he was going to break the damn record, which was like 4.21, and he ran like a 4.4.
What a dummy. You can't even read.
Oh, I know. And I'm not. And to Thomas's point, I could care less about 40 times that they're in shorts and running.
That's right.
Put them in pads. Emmitt Smith. Go look at Emmitt Smith's 40 time. Not very impressive. Not very impressive. I saw him run for 60 yards opening play against the Giants in 95. I mean, he had a ton of big runs. There's football speed and there's track speed. And this isn't a track game. This is football. And it's like Deion. But, Deion always said, Jimmy, they always asked me how fast he was. So I'm as fast as I need to be.
Yeah. Well, hey, remember, I ran a good 40, but I didn't make it to the pros either. The hell, man.
Yeah.
He waved goodbye. But the thing is, you're talking shit in the combines. Now, you're going to get some teams. Oh, it's great. But a lot of them get turned off by that. If you're talking noise already and you don't back it up in the combines, what are you going to do when you get into the NFL?
Yeah. And I'm with Steven. I'm grabbing the best skill guy at 12, whether it be receiver, running. That's why I kind of hope Genty is taken, because I think if Genty's there, they're going to be hard pressed to pass up on him. I don't know. I just think the skill set he has, everything he has, man, it'd be hard to pass up on him. But I would rather them wait for a running back. I'd rather them wait into the second or third round for a running back. I think that a receiver there is just, I don't want a lineman. I better not get no damn offensive lineman. I'm gonna cry. I'll cry.
Yeah, but you know what? You need those guys in the trenches, but not in the first or second round.
No. But it's going to be interesting. But free agency, Jimmy, that can change everything, right? Your priorities change.
Yes.
With free agency, and I don't know. I don't know how much money or how excited the Falcons are, but now you see Darius Slade get cut. You talked about Debo gets traded. The franchise tag goes on T. Higgins. Looks like maybe the franchise tag is going to go on Osa, which I'm not. I mean, I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. He does not. But if they sign him to the deal, what they were going to say he'd make is about 14th or 12th best in the league at defensive tackle. So I would say, okay, that's the market. That's it. He's not the best. I don't think he should be paid at the highest. But if they let him go, boy, they're in trouble. Because we don't have any defensive tackles if they let him go. Now you're really going to have to go out. But you can get value in free agency. I mean, you got Milton Williams is out there. You got the kid from Kansas City's out there. There's another one. Forgot the damn other team he was at. But you can go get Calais Campbell, the ageless wonder who's always out there. I mean, there are players out there for what you're going to pay Osa. You could get two of them. You get two guys, two for the price of one.
Well, it's funny, and that's what we call value around here. But as far as skill players, who do we have? So Teagan's got the franchise. You got Stephon Diggs. I don't think you want that headache on your team, right? Yeah. Who else? We got Amari Cooper. We talked about already. Chris Godwin. He's a little bit older, but. Who else do we have as far as skill play? A lot of edge and defensive linemen who are
yeah. Most of the receivers are getting up over the age of 30, right? I mean, and I just don't know. Like, I need young blood. Now, if they want to go get the infatuation with Amari Cooper, and I like Amari Cooper, but it's like anytime Amari Cooper's out there, well, we got to go get Amari. Well,
yes.
He's in here, man. All right, let me move on. I mean, if he comes back, fine, but if you want to make him your 3, I'm not in love with any of our receivers. I'm not in love with any of our receivers outside CeeDee Lamb. They could change them all and I wouldn't care. All of them. They could start fresh,
Really? You there, Mike Tag? What happened? You froze up.
Say Kavontae Turpin. Am I better now? Kavontae Turpin.
There you go. You're good.
I get excited. Kavontae Turpin is if you're going to call him a receiver, obviously I want him back. But I'm just talking about your Jalen Tolbert can go. Brandon Cooks is gone. Brooks can go. I know Flournoy is a rookie, so he's going to hang around. He's a rookie last year, so give him his fair shake. But these other guys have been there. They've all been there, and I'm done. No.
Damn. You didn't even read the question. He said, no.
And look at the money that he's making. That's the thing. It's you have the 12th pick in the draft. You're going to get your first and second round pick. You got value. If you sign and pay that much money for Devontae Adams, you're done with everything else. And one receiver of Devontae Adams' stature who has had a couple disappointing years in a row and is getting at that age point, there is nothing. I mean, we need more than just him.
He said trade Jalen Tolbert.
Trade him. Who the hell's going to take him? What are you going to get? A player to be named later?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Old school, man.
Yeah. I'm fine with if Tolbert's a 3, but I'm saying if they want to get rid of him, I'm not crying about it. Now, I can't believe freaking Ultra after 2 years of Booty Tolbert, now he's going to come on here and defend
That's right.
him.
Booty Tolbert.
Now he's going to defend him. Now he wants to defend him. I'm sitting there saying, I'm trying to speak it real. Now he wants to defend. Mingo.
Ultra, what changed your mind, Ultra?
Yeah, I mean, that's because I said get rid of him. I didn't say get rid of him. And Mingo, yeah, I mean, he didn't get a fair shake. I mean, let's say, in his defense, he didn't get a fair shake. He didn't get a fair shake because they trade midseason for him. We have no quarterback. I mean, they should have never done that trade. That was, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they, were talking about, but, I don't know.
Give Mingo a shot.
I don't know.
So, Andrew, we need at least one legit wide receiver and stud running back.
Yes. And I agree, Andrew. I agree.
So here's Ultra.
He was fine. He was fine, Jimmy. I mean, he wasn't earth shattering. I wouldn't, he was fine. And I think
that's
he's
solid. Well, that's solid yardage, and Dak Prescott was out for a month or something like that. Yeah. So.
I think Ultra, you're right. I mean, Tolbert as a 3, I have no problem with it. If they want to get rid of him too, I don't have a problem with it. If they're going to replace him, I don't care. Give me Restrepo. I'll take Restrepo over Tolbert as my third receiver too. So.
Hey, it's like I told you guys before. Kyle Pitts was not making any friends in Atlanta. He'll be traded out of Atlanta. My opinion, he'll be gone. Maybe a draft day trade or before that. I'm not sure, but he'll be gone.
Now, I would say this, and I'd ask you too, because when you say that, if this kid Warren from Penn State has been like, he's like the number one tight end. Everyone's high. If Dallas took a tight end at 12, how pissed off would people be? Would you be okay if the Falcons took a tight end in the first round?
Yes, I'd be well, like I said, okay, now I'm contradicting myself, but back to it, you can get a good defensive lineman or an edge in later rounds, in my opinion. For the skilled player who has, and I don't know about this, honestly, like I don't know much about it. The guy's got skill and he's got football IQ, I take him.
Yeah, I mean, he was at Penn State, and he was a lot of their offense. I mean, he was a playmaker. He was good. He's a big time baller. And it would be interesting to see how that played out. But anyway,
yeah, no, I would certainly take him. Assuming it gets back to when Greg said when we were on the draft show last year, and he said you got to take this guy Penix if he's available, and they took him, and all hell broke loose in the media. And guess what? Greg was spot on. He was right. It was the best player with talent and IQ ready to go at pick 7 or 8 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we took him.
No, I mean, I just, for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out. I'll just say on Andrew, I like Turpin. I'd love him. I don't look at Turpin as like a 1 or 2 or 3. I just look at him, get him 10 snaps on offense, 10 or 12, whatever it ends up being. I think he can give you 2 splash plays, that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to count on him being like a number 3, like he's on the field all the time. I think he's one of those guys. I'd like to see them use him more because I think he does bring a lot of, game-changing ability. He's the only one outside CD that, would strike fear in anybody or that they would have to keep an eye on right now. But he's also 150 pounds. I don't want him dead. So I mean, we gotta use him wisely. And he's such a with the kickoff rules and things like that. I mean, he was a big impact. I mean, he had a positive impact in the return game for us. Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy. What the draft is in a month, 4 weeks from now.
When is the draft? Is it?
Free agency is in a month.
Next week.
Draft is right, and the draft is a month after that. That's what it is.
Like in April.
Yeah, exactly. So
it used to be a little earlier, but they made it later. And hey, Jerry, I don't know if Jerry's all in. Your boy Mike Tag is all in. I sent my seat deposit money, so I'm locked in for the season. It's through hell or high water. They got one more year out of me to show me that you guys give a shit. And but the schedule is going to be so good, so I can't wait to obviously. It's new hope, man. Get the season started, man, and hopefully they do something in this free agency.
See, at least Steven understands that we have women and children out here in the crowd. We can't be using that kind of language.
I appreciate
Dallas fans would poop if we got another tight end, but this dude looks franchise.
And I would tell you, Steven, I wouldn't, because I was disappointed. And again, I don't want to harp on last season because there was a lot of injuries, so it wasn't fair, but I expected more out of Jake Ferguson. I thought he was going to take a really big leap. And I said it, and Ultra will be proud of me for saying it again, is I thought Schoonmaker was a better tight end last year. I thought he was a better tight end. And I don't know if it's a given that Ferguson, he better be stepping his game up and staying away from my girls down in Miami, stay focused on the eye and the prize. Because Dak Prescott needs a tight end. He loves a tight end, always you're good. And a lot of quarterbacks, right? I mean, that's a safety blanket.
Yes.
But absolutely. I know Dak through, obviously the later years of Witten, and then you had Schultz, and, you go through, he likes the tight end. So,
Witten always produced. I drafted him every year for fantasy, and that guy always produced. I liked him.
Yeah. So
go Cowboys, Canes, Mike Tag, Jimmy Dee. What's up? Matt Gould.
No, if you love speed, he's a fast receiver. He would be an intriguing one, not at 12 for Dallas. But if they were to move around, maybe try and get that 4th round pick back and do some trades and get some more picks. He's a guy that can stretch the field. I wouldn't have an issue with that. I really like, the kid from Arizona. I want some receivers that got some size. I think you need that one. The kid from Iowa State that I watched, torch my Miami team. High point the ball is like 6'4", so you get guys like that you can get, in the second, third round, whatever. So there's guys out there that you can go after, but speed. Just I don't watch enough Texas football, and I didn't watch enough film on him, so I'll defer to my guys in the chat that watch a lot of Texas. Is he a guy that will translate in the NFL without skipping a beat? And then if he's a route runner, great hands, this and that, then that speed is dangerous, and you can never have enough speed on your team, right, Jimmy?
You can never have speed in life or on your teams.
Yes.
Hey, so and obviously we're still talking about the draft and players, but man, was that expected that Jimmy Johnson was going to retire from announcing?
Can I tell you this, Jimmy? And I'm 100% being dead serious. I thought he left. I thought that's why they did that AI thing during the Super Bowl.
Really?
Because the volume wasn't up. I thought he was leaving. I thought that was a tribute.
No shit. No, I didn't know that. I know what I saw today was the first I heard of it, because I started laughing. Because first of all, I can't stand the Fox pregame, right? Terry Bradshaw, he's just a clown. And Howie Long, tries to pretend like he's some Harvard grad, all smart with his glasses. He's stupid. And Jimmy Johnson, I like Jimmy Johnson. He was always good. He was a good part of the squad. And it's sad to see him go. Now, do you think
weird? Like, we used to live for the pregame shows. Like, do you watch much pregame anymore?
No, especially that one.
I don't either.
I'd rather jump into the cave on a Sunday morning and bullshit with everybody here and have fun.
Yeah.
And I'll watch a little bit of the CBS because I like, at least as of last year, I like those guys, but that's it, not much.
Yeah, I don't watch pregame much. I usually, I'm putzing around the house or doing the morning show or something like that, but I don't watch a lot of it.
Is that the line of the day? Said what I feel. Pre-game is like Saturday morning. You know what? Actually, that's a good point, Cutch.
I miss the Saturday morning cartoons.
That was fun. Remember Bugs Bunny and what other was?
You had Bugs Buzzard. You had Woody Woodpecker. You had Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. And then you had like the Tom and Jerry, the real ones, and from the old day. And then you had the new ones, which kind of sucked. Remember that?
Oh, you gotta have
the Road Runner.
Yeah, Road Runner was great. I mean, they don't have good cartoons like that anymore. They ruined.
No, they don't. They did. I know. Remember Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Oh yeah,
that was on.
Why don't you put a rabbit out of my hat?
Wait, were you the voice for that dude?
I know. Again. Oh man.
No, I think that Tom from Tom and Jerry might be a little bit smarter than Howie Long. That's my opinion.
I like Howie. I'd like to see you say that to his face.
Yeah, you know what? See, I'm a little bit smarter than he is, so I got to say it to his face.
Oh man! I saw someone ask
Foghorn Leghorn. Yes,
Foghorn. Yeah, no, he's a good one too. The best was, I don't know if anywhere. Now you're gonna get me sidetracked. And Royals. I don't know enough about him, so I don't want to say I love him or hate him. He wasn't one of the receivers that's on my list of guys that I look at. But I will look. I'm gonna watch his film. And I'm gonna see his highlights, and I'll give you. Droopy was good. I'm
gonna need it, Mark.
Tom and Jerry, when Jerry's was it his uncle with the guitar singing Cambone. And he stuttered all the time, and he'd always pop his guitar string, and then he'd go snap a whisker from Tom,
Thump, 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 thump. Yeah.
Peter Rabbit, Cambone. And he had the mustache,
Yes,
just like,
what
a guitar string.
What about when they had Tom La Cucaracha? I mean, the pineapple on his head or whatever. He was
that was
yeah.
That's your papa. Remember they put the and then they had the they put the diaper on him. Remember the oil. Oh,
yes.
They don't make cartoons like that.
No, that was funny as hell, man. And now somebody brought up. So who was it? Steve Liber, Droopy. Remember?
Oh, Droopy. I'm happy.
Droopy.
I'm happy. Stupid dog.
It's your fault, Cut.
The other good one was when remember when it was is Tom and Jerry with the bulldog. Was it a bulldog?
Yeah. And then they put the wood in.
He'd make the line. Remember
Yes,
Tom measured
yes.
out measured out his leash and had the line. He'd come out barking out. He smacks him in the head with a tree, or he hit him in the face with a pie. You know they said that those cartoons were like not PC because you had them jumping off a cliff and landing. It was the coyote, and you had the bombs and the TNT, and they took all that stuff off. They took it all off the air. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I like when I agree with you. It's like, come on, it's fake, But the thing. But
remember when he shot Daffy Duck in his
Peak went that way. Wait a minute. What about when Jerry erased the line and moved it closer so the leech went over the line?
Yeah. Oh, see now Speedy Gonzalez. You couldn't do that.
Oh, Speedy,
yes. Speedy Gonzalez because my man Cuts was one of the guys that he wrote the station. He said that was being prejudiced against his people.
Oh, is that true?
Yes.
He really wrote a letter.
Oh, he wrote a letter.
He ruined it. Ruined the fun.
I love Speedy Gonzalez, man. He was Speedy.
Although, wait a minute, are they really on cartoon? Like the old ones, Mark? The old school ones? Or I know
not
some
the
of them
new ones. I'm talking about like the OG ones.
Right. Not some new crap. Yeah, they had the Tom and Jerry's that were made much later. They weren't the same.
No, that's not the same. That's not the same. The best was I love the Flintstones, right? So you used to watch the Flintstones. And if anyone knows the episode, you got to send it because it's my favorite episode. It's when Wilma and Betty were out. So Betty thinks Barney is cheating on her, having an affair. And so they went looking and they found Barney and Fred were talking to these girls. And Wilma goes, "Look, Betty, there's Barney's, and he's with them hussies." They go over there in the cartoon. They said
that. Hussies.
Oh man,
Fat Albert. That was
Albert
I loved Fat Albert. That was great, man. No, Fat Albert. What else was there?
We used to do Garfield and Heathcliff. Remember Heathcliff?
Remember Heathcliff? Yeah.
And God, there was so many.
Cut said Slowpoke Rodriguez was Speedy Gonzalez's cousin.
It was Slowpoke. I remember Slowpoke.
He was his primo. Yeah. Green Hornet.
Yeah.
So that's like Flintstones with a storyline.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Flintstones were the best.
Funny as hell.
I digress. We got sidetracked on our stuff, but yeah. So what else you got going on this week, Jimmy? Before we wrap this bad boy up, what else we got?
Not much, man. I think we said it all and done it all. There, obviously,
we'll say it's a family. We talk family stuff. A proud moment. I shared my news. My daughter in college. I'm sure you got.
So yes,
our founding producer. You see, we elevate people. We got him under our wing. We get him going. Next thing you know, he's off.
Right. So Dominic, right? He was in the internship with us, and we helped get him to where he's at. He got accepted to Sacred Heart University, so we're very proud. He's gonna try out for the hockey team there, but he got in for academics, and they gave us a few bucks, which kind of helps a little bit. So we're happy. Yeah, but last week. And you and I kind of, touched on this for a second. So we had his last youth travel hockey game last Sunday, and then Wednesday his last youth high school hockey game, and then his 18th birthday all in 1 week. And you get all sentimental, It's kind of tough.
It is. We had our Eva had her last cheer banquet, and I don't know if let me see. It was kind of cool. See if I can find it. I'll get the picture while we're talking.
While you're doing that, I'll say, Thomas, we're on the bubble. We're making a lot of trades. We still suck. I'm not happy. It's been a disappointing season for my New York Rangers, but we'll see. Hey, we're I think 2 or 3 points out of a wild card right now.
Yeah, and I did see Pepe Le Pew was one of my
Pepe Le Pew.
He got woke They stopped showing his because they said he was being it was like rape or whatever to women because he always go up to the cat. Remember, he always go up to the cat. And that's your story. I'm not bullshitting. That's legit. But
Thomas, we are the Rangers are a complete disaster right now. Chris Drury, he's got to go. He's a guy. All right, here we go. Yeah, look at that.
There it is. So my daughter, that's it, man. Went to her banquet, but they had all the kids vote who's most likely to be famous. And I don't know if I had anything to do with it. Hopefully, maybe I hope I had an influence, but she won by a landslide amongst her peers that most likely to be famous. And she won the team award for being a good leader. She was one of the captains, but being a good leader, always positive, always, keeping everyone together away from the drama. So it was one of those bittersweet. And I will share this. She doesn't know this, but she watches, she'll see it. At the end, they had a senior slideshow, right? So they did all the pictures. It was, almost got a little tear out of me, and I don't cry easy. Oh. And but at the end, they say their goodbyes, right? And they talk about what they loved and any advice to the kids in the next year's team. And some of them said some nice things to their parents. So I'm getting a little, I almost felt like what was the movie where was it Rock? I want to say it's Rocky because I've seen him like kind of moving around like they were gonna. Oh yes, Rocky, the worst Rocky ever, Rocky 5, when Tommy Gunn won the title and he thought he was going to thank Rocky on the TV, and then he thanked the promoter. So I thought we were going to get this emotional thing because every girl was doing it, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be tough. And she ended up doing it with her friend, so it turned into like a little joke. Like both of them did theirs at the same time, so there wasn't any kind of sentimental stuff. So it was kind of good in a way because I didn't have to cry or get emotional about it. But it is tough when you see your kids compete and do something for so long, and it's over. And I was involved, but my wife was. I mean, she was on the board. She cheered. She coached her cheer teams all the way through high school until she got into high school. So she was heavily involved in a lot of this. So, I mean, we're active parents in all the kids' sports and stuff like that. So it is a tough thing when you see him, it's over.
It's over. And, so at his travel, after his last travel team game, we ended up, all the coaches in the team, did like a banquet. And the coach was doing speeches and got the best of me. I started like tearing up. And then, but it was funny. His second to last high school game, I never seen him throw hands in hockey. Two games left. What's this kid?
Wow, you do that, and at that level, they're allowed to fight.
Yeah, the penalties are fast. But long story short, that one of the guys on the other team took a slap shot at our goalie like 2 seconds after the whistle. It was an offside. Whistle goes, rips it. So Dominic's like, what the hell? I'm sure it was some more colorful language.
Oh, so Dominic's like the enforcer of the team.
But that's the thing. He's a hit. He hits, but he doesn't go after people like that. So he went after, and then he clocked him, and then a scrum broke out. And he started skating away, and the referee's pulling him back. And the kid, I guess, said to him, "Hey, you ain't gonna do that again, you pussy." And so okay. Wow. Well, he's a lefty, so he's hit with his other hand. I'm like, shit. So actually, he got booted the rest of the game, but he still had one more game after that, so we're good.
Did he sweep the leg?
Yes, he sweep the leg. Hey guys, no, we appreciate all the congrats, but that was and then it turns 18 and he gets accepted to Sacred Heart all in a week. I'm like,
that's awesome. Good for him. He's a great kid, and I know you guys are proud of that. So that's awesome.
Exciting stuff. Awesome. But like you said, it flies by, man. We change. We're getting old. We change.
I know. I told Cuts we have to do a road trip if we get to Falcons. We're supposed to play. Could have got lucky this year, but we'll have to wait for a few years. But we'll have to get a little gathering. Get a gathering in one of my cribs. We'll go out and have time. And that's what happens now. You get older, kind of like regular people.
That's right. Look,
senior in college.
Wow, college. He turned to me and asked where he went. I said on his feet, got taken down. We won to the medal. See, it's all it's so Andrew, flies by, man, and that's what I'm having trouble with. Like, I can't believe it. My older son's going to be 22 in a few months, and it's like, damn, we had all the time in the world together. My wife and I, and then you got kids, so you're running crazy, doing sports. Now it's like, wow, like we're hitting the brakes again. We got a lot of time on our hands.
Yeah, well, no, absolutely. And so your son must wrestle, Andrew. So that's awesome. That's I mean, wrestling, I would say, is the greatest sport, and I think every kid should wrestle. It does a lot. It does a lot. So mentally and just all that kind of, and any sport, but wrestling to me was just because it's an individual sport, but it's a team sport, but an individual sport.
Yeah.
It's just it's a little bit different sometimes, but yeah, it flies by. So definitely, guys, we appreciate it. What flies by is our time. We got into some of the free agency is going to be next week, so we'll get into it. It starts on the 12th, which I think is Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Next or whatever. We'll do like a preview and kind of get that going a little bit more in depth, maybe just focus on it. But we had such good stories. Obviously, the weekend with Cuts, had a great weekend with Cuts. I didn't tell the last story. I apologize. One more story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I leave at 7. My flight was at 7:10. So Cuts said he'd take me to the airport. I was like, because I got near the airport, so I said maybe we'll go to I could take an Uber because it's close. And he's like, no, you guys got to hear this story, so stay tuned because this is a good story. And so we get there and we're driving. Now both of us are tired. He loaded up the car and he said he was going to go get breakfast. He was meeting someone, going to go work his way back home, meet a buddy of his, and then get home. And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. And so we're driving, and all of a sudden we heard like sound like a whip, like you ran over like a branch or something hit your car, like, you know what I mean? Not like you didn't feel like a hump, but it felt like something hit. And we're getting close to the airport. We're right near where the toll thing was. I'm like, Jesus, what the hell was that? And he goes, man, I don't know. You heard that? I said, yeah. And so didn't think nothing of it. He goes and think, and I get out of the car. Car's, obviously he's saying goodbye, and he goes, you know where my keys are, man? He started looking for them. I'm like, no. I said, looking around. I said, there's no way. And those were his keys. He must have. But this is the worst part. The car, if it shuts off, he's got no key. He's F because it's a key fob. So the car is running, but if he shuts it off,
you're screwed. Yeah.
He ended up. I'm guessing. I texted him and he said he's almost home when I landed, so he had to go straight home. He had to go straight home, not stop for nothing. And if I'm assuming he got gas, he had to leave his car running, getting gas, and doing all of that. But he lost his keys. And now what's crazy is it was 7 or 8 miles to the airport from where we were at, because our airport's so long. We were booking, and it didn't fall till just when we were almost there, like a mile away. That's when it fell. And I asked him if he wanted to go back. I said, "You going to go back?" He goes, "It's dark outside." I guess he didn't want to take a chance. I would have.
You put him on the hood by the windshield. I could see him driving home. Remember the Jerky Boys? Drove it through the tolls, no stopping, no nothing. I'm good. that was Cuts driving home whole and a half.
But I thought with a key fob, if it's
scary.
a way that your car, like, it would beep and beep and beep and beep and like would eventually shut off.
No, it'll beep a couple times, and you're right. As long as you don't shut it off, you're good. But yeah, you get even one attempt. It's supposed to warn you. Okay, if you shut the no key fob, you hit the button one more time, you're effed.
Yeah.
So milk, you milky liquor. It is sizzle chest.
Oh, I tell you, Mark, 100%. I didn't even talk about Cuts. We'll put that back. Mark is my official driver. He always picks me up, and this was the first time Cuts had picked me up. He was a little late. I'm not going to dog him for it, but a little late. He missed a turn, so I had to wait an extra 15 minutes. It was okay. He did have an iced tea and a snack for me. Now, Mark's never given me a tea and a snack. So that would definitely earn some brownie points. So obviously earn some brownie points there. So we've got a little thing to figure out there's a certain expectation I have. If I'm coming to the game, maybe one of them could have a little red carpet, maybe roll it out. Maybe there should be rose petals, but I should be walking on rose petals. There's certain things that maybe they could do to make me feel a little bit more welcome. but we'll see what happens.
You need to start putting your drink on the correct side first, man. Hey, I can see. So, Mark, first of all, I'm the official parallel parker of the cave. First of all, and it cuts. I can see cuts like a NASCAR pit stop doing the
I gotta tell one more funny story.
That's all right.
Because Mark, and I hope I don't get in trouble for it, but Mark put it on there, so I'll blame him. So, and I know he's probably gonna watch later.
Oh, look at that! You got
Is
this out of the deal.
our guy Frankie, and you met Frankie.
Tea and Scrumpets. Oh, I love Frankie. He's awesome.
One of the best guys, right? Frankie. So Frankie just, my man can drink. He's from Germany. So
he could.
He's drinking heavy. And the season was so frustrated. He would go and his head's down and he'd look up at me and goes, I'm so hurt. I'm hurt, because the Cowboys are doing so bad. And then he went to Cutts was sitting with him, and the whole game he's standing up and he's turning around, put his finger in the air, saying, "F Jenny, F you, Jenny." Like looking at him. So Cutts had to go, had to calm him down because there's kids around. And poor Frankie he loves the Cowboys. There's no. There's fans as big as it's Frankie, but there's no fan bigger, myself included. And so then Mark dropped us all off, and we were at different hotels right after the game. So he dropped Frankie off last. Well, I guess, Frankie was saying goodbye to him. Yeah, you do the dap, pull in, little chest hug. But I guess when he got the dap hug, Frankie gave a little turn and gave him a little peck on the cheek. Goodbye. So, Mark just felt like he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do, what to say. I was like, "Well, did you give him a kiss back?" I mean, what's the proper thing to do? He said, "I just kind of stood there and said, thank you." Oh my God!
Thank you.
It's like, so Frankie, don't kill me for that story. For telling that story. I don't even know if he remembers it. He probably don't even remember it.
I'm pissed because we were in Germany before we met Frankie. And it was funny. The only German I knew besides Dankeschön, because his song was like Guten Tag and all the stuff. Remember Alex Wright, the wrestler, the Wonder Kid?
Yeah.
So I was running around saying shit. I didn't even know what I was saying. Verlieren, especially with a few beers in me. And Leah's like, "Oh God, we're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get us killed." I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just shouting stuff, doing the face and all this stuff.
Yeah. Look, Margaret. It was awkward.
But,
I mean, it's tough. I just remember my brother. I think I've told this story. My brother just a few months ago during Christmas. His daughter and her boyfriend were up, right? They came up too. And, she's 20, 21. And they stayed with us and stuff. And we were saying goodbye. We went to breakfast. We always go to breakfast that Sunday morning and everyone goes on their way. And he went to go give my brother a hug. And my brother's like, "We ain't hugging." He like that. He goes, "Oh, we're not there yet?" He goes, "Ain't never going to get there. We're going to shake hands." It's just like, but yeah, you don't know what the customary culture is when you do things, but anyway.
So, hey, Steven, man, chicken fried steak. I love that stuff, man. I got to come over to your house for dinner. Damn it.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'm running late. My wife's going to kill me because we had our show is on at 9. So.
Below Deck, is it?
Or 8, whatever. Yeah. So. All right, man. Well, hey, before we go, Jimmy, as always, it's great. And I know we talked about flipping shows. Are you good next week? Because the 17th, I'm on vacation.
Oh, shoot. I was hoping next Monday I'm away.
Oh, all right. We'll figure.
The following Monday I'm home. We'll
figure. Maybe we'll do a different day. We'll figure something out.
We'll talk to you on the phone. We'll talk on the telephone and figure it out.
Yeah. I'm on vacation. I'm going on a cruise on the 17th, so I'll be gone. So
saw that, Rick.
As you guys, if you're still hanging out, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. We got 266 of you guys hanging out with us on all platforms. We definitely appreciate it. But if you don't hit that like, you don't hit that subscribe on YouTube, you're not helping your brother out. We're not asking for no money. All we're asking for is hit subscribe, like the video, maybe even leave a comment. That's all you got to do. Definitely appreciate it. One last thing, Jimmy, I apologize, and then we'll see you. John Cena, just your quick thought. Is that like I didn't watch it, but is that like NWO type thing with Hogan? Is that
No, so it was Elimination Chamber. He turned heel. He beat the hell out. He kicked Cody Rhodes in the nuts and busted him open. Look, at the end of the day, I was talking to Dominic about that. I said, I just don't like you're getting kind of The Rock and Cena back in there. They're almost like part-time wrestlers, and I get it. It's legacy, and there's still big names.
Yeah.
So it was a cool storyline. It's just,
Is this continuing or is this kind of the end?
No, it's going to continue probably through to WrestleMania, is my guess.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. St. Patty's Day. Well, that's the thing. Mike Tag's not going to be here on St. Patty's Day.
I won't be here on St. Patty's Day. So yeah.
Maybe I'll see what's good. Maybe I'll see what's up with Greg
yeah. No, if you need me to reach out to Greg or anything, we could definitely do something. So
I got his number. I'll reach out. So
yeah, he has a new number now.
Yeah, no, I got it. Yeah, I got his number.
The new one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then I text him on the number. He goes, "Who is this?" I said, "He gave me the number." I don't know who the hell is this? So, all right, Jimmy. Guys, I appreciate it. You guys
are the best.
Thank you for the support. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share. I will see you guys Wednesday with K9. We'll be back in the house. See ya. Where's my outro? All right, Jimmy.
I don't know.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
And it says it's ending. And